Wowee, it's up. Have a look at the beauty. What a beautiful sail. It's just hardly any wind, but that's how I like it. And it's, I don't know whether I've jagged it or it's a few things are wrong, but it seems to be controlled all right.
Hello viewers, my name is Jens Peck and this is my YouTube channel Full Spinnaker Ahead. It's all about living aboard and sailing, adventures with Toucan 2, my 46 foot aluminium sailing catamaran.
I can't believe it, eh? That's amazing. After all of these time of thinking about it, it's finally happened.
I've owned Toucan 2 for 2 years and 8 months and lived on board all that time. Diagnosed with cancer about the same time as purchasing my dream boat. Juggling the medical requirements of my cancer, we've managed to sail down and up the east coast of Australia, over to Tasmania and back, and around the Gippsland Lakes of Victoria, Australia, my home port. No stranger to doing things solo and DIY with renewed standing rigging, well repaired cracks in the hull, realign the engines, sail repairs, replace the mainsails, water tanks, rescun, the list will go on. I've learned a lot and I still have a lot to learn. One thing that hasn't changed is the desire to sail Toucan 2 as far around this planet as I can, bringing you, the viewers, that story. I'm making this title page up in Arlie Beach after a 5-week bout of the shingles.
Yep. Yeah, we found a deep spot.
Shingles is a viral infection and I had it for 5 weeks. I was seriously sick for 5 weeks and it was an eye opener, and I realised how vulnerable I could be being immune compromised. So I'm making a change in plans and making a base down south where I could work and place where I could seek the medical help more easily if I should fall ill again. A slight delay in my plans, but one that I think will work.
Yeah, g'day. I've spent a lot of time in this bed over the last 5 weeks.
The catch cry of my YouTube channel, Full Spinnaker Ahead to Your Dreams, because you never know what's around the corner, now has a lot more meaning after having shingles. It's the rewards of boating life that make it all worthwhile. Over the blue seas of the east coast, Toucan glides, taking us to places that we dream of in lullabies. Full Spinnaker ahead to your dreams. Hello viewers, welcome to Full Spinnaker Ahead. It's the 30th of March 2024, underway by motor from Batemans Bay to Jervis Bay. It's approximately 50 nautical miles. We decided to do some boat work. Previously ran the main halyard back to the cockpit through a pulley. It proved to be too much tension for the pulley strap, which broke. So I decided to swap the main halyard with the topping lift, utilising the small winch that has the green rope loaded onto it. Also, we opted to replace the barbecue knobs with something a bit more robust. A job that needed doing for quite some time. Late afternoon, turned left into Jervis Bay, mooring at the Scottish Roads courtesy mooring. Stayed the night at Scottish Roads, and then on a clockwise journey around the circular Jervis Bay, we anchored at Vincentia and took the tinny in and circular anchored it for a desperate interlude with domestic facilities. The circular anchoring technique is really handy for if your boat is too heavy to be manhandled. We've made a whole separate video on that, and it's the next one in the sequence. Unbeknownst to us, the Jervis Sea rescue boat here is actually checking out that we are alive and well. My dad saw that we were anchored there under AIS, but I hadn't responded to any of his phone calls. It's good to see someone's looking out for me. Next step on our clockwise circumnavigation of Jervis Bay was Huskinson's, a more touristy end of town with a beautiful little inlet, very protected, and also a great jetty to get some water at. Toucan carries 500 litres of fresh water when full. So after we filled, we headed back out clockwise around Jervis to Chinaman's Beach to try and work out how to do the Tarzan swing off Toucan.
This doesn't feel as comfortable as before. I feel like I'm just going to be jumping off without the rope.
That's why I think you need the momentum of like a run up.
I'm sure if you went from here and you went, you'd go across it, but
Yeah, you'd go up with it.
Oh, here we go. Fuck it.
it wants to pull you back. You can feel it pulling you back.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Not sure about that.
Oh shit.
Oh, you can see him coming back though.
Woo!
Hello viewers. Trying to reenact an event that happened to you and convey the feeling and the significance of it is always difficult, especially in this day and age when the same event is viewable on social media with a few clicks of a button. So here goes a description of an event without pictures or video. In the screen right now is Chinaman's Beach in the distance and the body of water where this event happened. I had launched the drone to try and recapture the whale encounter I had just had. Felix was searching by kayak as well as he had witnessed it from Toucan. So I was returning from Chinaman's Beach to Toucan on the green kayak with my dog Schnauzel when to the left about 100 and 150 metres a large whale appeared and it was heading straight for me. I stopped and I watched. The sheer size was apparent with me so close to the water, I suppose. What appeared to be barnacles were attached to its body. I felt like it had locked onto me. It was manoeuvring to make an exact intercept. I was starting to feel a little unsure of how this encounter might go. It continued methodically rising and falling in the water, getting closer. Look at the size. A vision flashed through my mind of a tail flap on the kayak. I started to paddle. It seemed I was still in the crosshairs. I paddled a bit more. a bit quicker. I paddled, and now I felt like it was all just a coincidence with our paths diverging. The mystery of the unknown, seemingly so gentle in a whale, but in reality so large and powerful. I wonder if a whale would have any consideration for my safety. Probably not in that sense, I think. But to be in the same column of water, looking eye to eye with a whale that close, gives me goosebumps now. The drone is returning from its flight, and I go to pluck it out of the air here, and it just wants to take off. It just goes into obstacle avoidance mode, and it's full noise here, and I'll call Sean over to here to give me a hand because I can feel the drone is escaping my grip. So I totally used the wrong technique, whereas you're meant to fly the drone into your hand so that bottom sensors can detect that it's a landing and go into landing mode. With what I did, by plucking it, it sensed the obstacle and went into acceleration to avoid it, and I almost lost my grip on the drone, and I don't know what would have happened then, but apparently also if it does do that and you've got hold of it, if you turn the drone upside down, it powers it down as well. So that was a really good lesson, and what a piece of otherwise probably fairly boring drone footage. Morning, it's Wednesday and we're heading out of Jervis Bay. We've just got the light, we just headed off fairly early, and we're just coming through the heads, or getting close to coming through the heads now. Sun's just about to come up, and Felix and Sean have just been tying the tinny up and doing the hatches, and we are going for Sydney. We're heading for Sydney to get some new batteries for the house batteries because they've been depleting, and I've got to do a doctor's appointment on Monday, so should be a good day. We've got about 80 miles to do, so we've left at 6, and that gives us a good 12 hours of light. I doubt whether we'll get there, and we'll have to probably come in at night time through Sydney Harbour and to, what's it called, it's Camp Cove Courtesy Mooring. We've got the GPS coordinates locked in, and hopefully we'll get a sleep there and then go from there in the morning. One of the more notable landmarks on the east coast is Perpendicular Point in Jervis Bay, an 80-metre high sandstone cliff with a lighthouse on top.
It looks like a dolphin fish as well.
It might be the same one.
Oh, it's definitely bigger.
Poor bastard.
Closest by the way.
Whoa. That's a way bigger one.
Oh, no, it's not.
No, that's the same one. Jojo! 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 Back! It's stunning.
The soft plastic's gone. Hey! My finger.
We end up getting into Camp Cove, which is just around the southern headland in Sydney Harbour, about 1 a.m. in the morning. Here we're just passing the Bondi on the outside of the harbour, and you can hear the generator going in the background because our house batteries aren't keeping up with the demand from the extra load by the instruments. And one thing I wanted to mention is that when we come into Sydney Harbour at night, when you're navigating with their navigation lights, it's hard. The hard thing I find is to find which navigation light's the first one to consider. And especially if I didn't have a chart plotter, electronic chart plotter, and I was doing that by dead reckoning off a map and visual, I don't know how they did it, but you probably avoid coming in at night or stay out until it gets light. So we got into Camp Cove using the GPS coordinates, and we hooked up to the mooring quite easily, and had a good night's sleep in the shelter of that headland. This is our anchorage in Rose Bay, looking out towards the harbour bridge with a sunset over it. So tomorrow we decide to go under the harbour bridge and around the Opera House and into the centre of the city basically, and you'll be amazed at the activity that this harbour has. It creates its own surge because there's so many boats.
Go around the marker. going everywhere, from private racing yachts to speedboats to kayaks to seaplanes, helicopters, you name it, ferries. They creep up on you and they're really fast. It's a spectacular skyline with all that old buildings like these wharves over here. They're all from old school times, and they're like being done up into more modern precincts, I think. Yeah, unreal. We're just having a little bit of a cruise. We're gonna park in Farm Cove tonight, right next to the Opera House. That should be good.
Yeah, this is my first time being in Sydney, and what an experience it's been. Got the bridge behind me, got the Opera House back there as well, just past that. We've got thousands of boats trailing through every second. Ferries, probably the most dangerous thing I've seen, probably more dangerous than the sharks out here. And it's so much going on, so much life.
Hi viewers, we're here on sunny Saturday on the Sydney Harbour. Everybody's out here. We've got the boats racing, we've got the ferries racing, we've got everybody out here trying to have a look. It's an honour to be out here with everybody, see everybody doing their Saturday thing.
Out with the old, in with the new. You can just see that little bridge there is being replaced by that big suspension bridge. It used to be a swing bridge. These wharfs are now not where you go and drop your fertiliser off, it's where you go and get a latte and a triple pineapple parmigiana. One thing I noticed in Sydney Harbour is that when that wind starts to blow and start to get a little bit challenging, you would think that there wouldn't be too many people on the water, but it seems to attract a great percentage of people, and there's a heap of them out there testing themselves against the more extreme conditions.
That's 20.
That's a 30 Mark D.
Oh, bye. The Sydney Opera House, looking magnificent, and we're here for the fireworks show tonight. They've got a show of fireworks in Farmers Cove on a little pontoon, and so that people can watch it from their restaurant seats. I don't know if you can see the platform, it's over there. over there somewhere.
Associated with the fireworks pontoon is this theatrical production on the banks of the Botanical Gardens in Farmers Cove. In true Sydney fashion, there's always lots going on. The Botanical Gardens in Sydney is a whole different environment from the hustle and bustle in the harbour, with the harbour surge, as I call it, from just generated from the amount of vessels in there and the amount of people running around. And when you look over the back shoulder, you can see the high rises. So we're not far from the city. And you got these awesome spaces. This is a herb garden. Woolloomooloo. What a name. It deserves recognition just because of its name. And one that I've heard throughout my time a little bit. And it's got these beautiful apartments there with the warships on display. So it's good night in Sydney, and the next episode will be to do with circular anchoring, and then back to Sydney for a battery fit out, and then onward and upward the coast. Good night, thanks for watching.